Okay. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Sorry about the late
Hello.
start. I was trying to find a video of Nelly, uh, and I had moved, like every couple of months, I condense all of my photos and videos that automatically get uploaded from my phone on Dropbox, and I put them into uh, folders based on year. And I had just done that, and I couldn't find anything. So I was,
So I wasn't quite prepared for the video to appear, and it's like, oh, Coury's not wearing glasses. You want to tell this? I mean, you mentioned this at the end last week, and I had no idea that you would end up having it like 2 or 3 days later.
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I got LASIK done on Wednesday, and
You had a consultation that morning, and he's just like, well, yeah, we can do it this afternoon.
yeah, because they only do the procedure on Wednesdays and Fridays, and my consultation was at 10 a.m. I was in there, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it, and they're like, well, we have an appointment today at like 1:20, and we have another one at 2. If you can do either one of those, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just do it. So I just did it.
I mean, that would just be like, I certainly wouldn't have the courage to do that myself, but like, even still, like, I can't imagine like waking up and not like being prepared to go into it and then just be like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. No, like I would need to like work up to it,
Yeah,
But then again, I could also, I guess, understand just like, you know what, like,
just
get
gonna
it
do
over
it
with.
without.
I'm surprised there wasn't more prep necessary for it, but I guess it's like the process is such a well-oiled machine at this point.
Yes, I mean the actual process. Like once I got into like the room, it was. I mean, it was like less than 10 minutes total. Like,
Yeah.
and like I got there at 1:20, which is like when my appointment was, and I had some like prep work to do before that, but that was like on the way home, like within an hour. Um,
So have
yeah,
you had any dry eyes issues
yeah, oh
lingering?
yeah. I mean, I
Or,
definitely have dry eyes. Today was probably the best day that I've had though.
I mean, I would
So,
expect it to
but I
be
might be.
progressively better.
Yeah, I'll probably be using rewetting drops here, like during the stream at some time.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
like points, that's just
But
like
I
the
mean,
way it is.
I heard that can linger for,
Yeah, well,
over a month even.
so I was like 80% the day after, and they said that like the remaining 20% and the dry eyes and everything like that can take up to 12 weeks.
Mhm.
So
You mean 80% in terms of like your visual acuity?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So do you feel like you are up to where you were with glasses yet or not?
Well, the big thing is that you're essentially exchanging being able to see at a distance for like seeing close up clearly. So like I go like this, I look at my hands right here and they're blurry.
And they weren't before?
I mean, they were kind of blurry, but they, like that's going to happen anyways with age.
Oh, sure.
But that's the
I've
reason,
noticed it a lot more recently myself.
right? So, I mean, I
Like
have to,
actually
like
what I've
I
noticed.
have to wear reading glasses now
Mhm.
to like, if I'm going to sit there and like I'm looking at my phone, like I can see it like right here, and it will hopefully get better so that I can
Mhm.
be at least here. But like if I need to like, I got a set of like really powerful reading glasses. And I call them my pixel peepers for when I need to like get real quick close up to the screen, and I can get like. But I
But
mean, I
like
feel like having reading glasses and like looking like this, like I feel like that makes me look older than anything ever. you know?
um do you feel like your monitors are at a distance though that you don't need?
Yes, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Um, I
But
mean, I
like
didn't
for
need
me,
reading glasses,
what I've
but
noticed more recently actually is that it used like up close used to be the same, like glasses or no glasses, but it's now where like glasses off, like actually like super up close is better. But I mean, I can still Like, it's not that like I can't read something up close, but it's just like I've noticed that it's actually blurrier with the glasses
Right.
than not. Like up close, like without glasses is still real good for me.
Right. And I mean, like that'll like as your eyes harden apparently, like the
Harden.
like it hardens.
I don't want my eyes to harden.
But I mean, that's what they say. Like, I mean, it's going to happen anyways. But it's just kind of a weird. Like, it's been kind of an adjustment because I'm kind of having to rethink or like deal with certain things that I've never really like in the reverse of what I've ever had to deal with. Because I've had glasses. I think I got glasses when I was in 4th grade, so I was about 9 or 10, and like I've worn contacts a whole bunch. I mean, like for most of the channel, I wore contacts, especially
I
like
don't know
during
about
green
most,
screen.
but maybe
Because,
about half.
well, I mean, everything that was green screen, I would always do it. I mean,
Yeah,
we
we stopped doing regular green screen probably like 5 years ago, though. So probably about 50-50.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the last green screen that we did was like the Mega SG. I went back through some things to see where I started wearing glasses. And there's times where I didn't wear glasses, or where I didn't wear glasses like when I had been wearing glasses. So it's just kind of, here and there. Like, but I've, like I haven't worn glasses. Like I didn't wear them for a long time at the beginning. And then I just started wearing them more often because it was like, it's just easier. And it's just, like sometimes I'd have to adjust my lights and stuff because of like the way that you'd see them reflecting in there.
Lynn says, I'm surprised you were able to do it same day. I'd leave my contacts out for 5 days before surgery. But you hadn't been using contacts in years.
Yeah, the last time I wore contacts, the only time I wear contacts is like when I go to the pool. And that's because I want to wear like sunglasses. And I hadn't had contacts in like 2 weeks. And even then, they're just like disposable ones. But it's it was like a really, really weird experience. It's really hard to describe what it was like. It was like real uncomfortable, but it goes so quickly that it doesn't really, you don't really have time to like let it bother you that much. I mean, they put things over your eyes and it like I think holds it open, and whatever they do to like cut the flap or whatever, like you just feel like some pressure on there, but you don't really feel anything until like they take that thing out, which I think like is what like pulls the flap down a little bit. It almost feels like you got like a wet noodle on your eye for like a split second. It's like a real weird experience. It's like something I cannot possibly describe accurately because I'd never felt anything like it in my life.
I can't I can't imagine knowing about the flap cutting and then being like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Like, oh no, like no. Like I think I was talking about last week when you were talking about LASIK. Yeah, like my reflex to protect my eyes is like so strong that like eye drops are almost impossible. I'm actually going to the optometrist tomorrow.
Eye drops are impossible even?
Like almost impossible.
Oh wow.
Like when they like put eye drops in your eyes at the optometrist, which I'll be doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just so hard for them to like hold my eye open because like I can't ease off of my like I don't know. I just have a really strong eye protection reflex that I like have no control over. I can't like tell my body like just relax, just let them open your eye. I get it. I just can't.
But it was I mean, so like after they cut the flap, then you got to like that. The weirdest part was like once that flap is like cut, you got to move to a different table, and like everything is just like messed up looking. Like it just like
wait. You're telling me you have your eye flaps open and you like physically have to get up yourself?
And then they walk you over to the thing where they do the laser and they lay back down.
Oh my gosh, it's not even in the same spot. You're telling me
there's like 6 people there to like help you get there. And then you go. They lay you down in this thing, and then they like said, okay, so you're
can't
gonna
imagine.
like, see, just like focus on the green dot, right? So it's just kind of like out of focus, and they're like, oh, you're gonna smell something, and it smells like it smells like melting Tupperware. But it's just like, wow, I can't believe like that's what it's
Mm-mm,
like.
mm-mm,
I
mm-mm.
mean,
I mean,
maybe it's like different every place else, Linus. Like I think
just hearing
it's
Coury describe this is like,
yeah. I mean,
Drum and I recently watched The Fly, and like, what you are telling me is more
oh
disgusting and
come on,
disturbing than The Fly.
come on.
To me personally.
But like like so it was so quick that like so once they shoot the laser, there's like it's gonna take about 13 seconds, and they just like count down. They just say like they count down from 13. It's like all right, we're done. And
Oh my.
it was then you like I got the sunglasses upstairs, but the reason like they give you sunglasses that go all the way around, I was like, like they're not the kind of sunglasses I normally wear. And I said
Yeah.
said to the woman as we're walking, I'm like, it's like, man, I feel like an asshole wearing these glasses. But
I mean, your son has like his glasses have a band that like goes all the way around the back, right?
not anymore though. No, he got
Oh,
real glasses. Um, but like I could start to see like on the way home, and I got some drops. I got like some medication drops. I gotta
mm-hmm.
put them in for the next couple days till they're gone. And today was a pretty good day. Like it's like it's not uncomfortable. I just need to like use rewetting drops every once in a while. And I got these Sustain drops that are like it's like a thicker kind of tier, and it like stays in there better. But yeah, I mean,
Oh gosh, that says I don't know if this is actually good advice or not. It says put the eye drops in the fridge. Feels so good when they go in
oh
cold.
no,
Oh
it's like
god.
it does feel good, and I just like I'm gonna do it. I'll do it right now. Like it feels good when they go in.
Oh,
Like
oh,
it's so quick, but it's
oh man.
like these thicker ones like help so much. And I had to get for nighttime. I got this same like these like tiers that are like they're the same thing, but it's like a ointment, and you have to like put it in your bottom of your eyelid, and you close it, and then you blink a bit, and it's just like a gel that like stays in your eye like overnight. It keeps your eyes from getting dried out, and it's like weird because it feels like every time you blink a couple of times, it like looks like there's like a thin layer of Vaseline all over everything.
Lucas says this conversation has made me want to buy a new pair of glasses. Maybe two.
Well, the thing is, so I have to I had to get reading glasses, right? So like I said, so if I'm like looking at something like real close, I got to use these. And I
I
didn't.
mean, is it like a problem? Like just using your phone now?
If I want to get no. I mean, as my eyes are healing, it's like better, but sometimes it goes back and forth between. It's not even blurry. It's more like a kind of double vision almost, like as it heals. Like that's that last, like if I hold it right here, they say like a little bit less than an full like an arm's length away, it's fine. But if I get a little bit closer, then it's just kind of like a double vision. As it heals, it'll be better. But if I want to get real close, I got to use reading glasses, which is fine. I would eventually need reading glasses, or I mean, you will probably eventually need bifocals.
I don't know. I'll resist it as long as I can.
Right. But I mean, it's just
Chauncey Gardner says Coury now sees the world at 30 FPS.
yeah. But the thing is, like, so reading glasses, when I heard I was going to have to get them, I was like, oh, like, it kind of sucks that I have to, like, still have to get glasses. Like, oh, you can get, like,
Mm-hmm.
reading glasses at Kroger, like a 4-pack for
Oh,
$20.
oh yeah. Just I mean, my parents are all about that crap. Just
Yeah, I mean, I'll just put them everywhere that I could possibly
Walmart
need 'em.
reading glasses, or you might be able to get them at the dollar store.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I got a pair here at the these ones right here. I got at the dollar store. So the thing is like I feel like with the reading glasses on, I was like looking at a book and reading. And I was like, it's like way easier to read than it even was before with these on. So I'm like,
well, that's your first true step into old manhood is being like, yeah, man, reading glasses.
and
Reading
I
glasses is
read,
the
and I could
best.
be like, my daughter's like, oh, you should get one of those lanyards so you can hang them around your. Like I feel like my grandma, right? But I mean, it's like it's a weird thing, and it like I said, the it's like causing me to have to like relearn how I do certain things, like where I can just like see everything from a certain distance, but then it's like if it's something real close, it's like, ooh, I gotta adjust myself.
There was a $5 super chat from Sizwiv. Thank you. A bit ago saying, try. I'm having a visceral, pun intended, reaction too.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but we can continue talking about it. But I'm gonna start playing this. I'm gonna start playing this game here. So this game was developed by Secret Base, who did Streets of Red or Devil's Dare, and long time ago, first year of the channel probably.
That's good.
We were hired by Secret Base to make a trailer for Streets of Red, but at the time it was called Devil's Dare. So
it was
like,
only
it's
on
always kind of
Steam.
neat. Like, I said it in like the year-end video for one year when that came out on consoles. It's like we're like in the background of like one of the levels.
Yeah,
It's like
we have
pixelated
sprites.
versions of us.
And I like their sprite style that
Yeah.
that they have for their art. It's a nice sprite style of their own.
But this comes out like later on this week, I think, or it might already be out. But we got.
I played a little bit before the stream because he
Yeah.
gave both of us review codes.
Yeah.
I was confused because I forgot that you had given me a review code, and when you said you were going to stream it tonight, I'm like, oh, my copy's not coming till Wednesday because like I was looking on Amazon and I had pre-ordered the Switch physical, and I was confused. I'm like, wow, you got it already? Mine's not coming till Wednesday, and then you remind me that we had Xbox review codes.
Yeah. Oh, this came out on Friday, I guess. I see Mega X6 is saying I like Double Dragon 4. I only paid like $2 or $3 for it, and that's probably about what it's worth. But also, like, it has like really, really bad screen tearing that they never fixed. It's like how did this even get to this point? How did they even have that happen? How did anybody allow that to happen? This is the Xbox version.
Yeah, we got Xbox review codes.
Yeah, I'm not reading the story here.
Yeah, I mean, when I played it, what surprised me was, it looks like there's actually a ton of playable characters.
Yes.
But I tried Marion, and like she uses a gun.
Yeah, she like has a handgun
and like a bazooka. But she also has like if you roll toward enemies, then she has a baton she hits enemies with. But then I tried, one of the original guys, and they're much more traditional brawler. Like I think Marion would be a really fun character, but maybe more in a 2-player game because
I like these sprites, these kind of classic sprites.
Yeah. I think she would be hard to use solo. That would be maybe a little bit tough. Something that I noticed, it seems like if you want healing items to drop, you want to kill like 3+ enemies at a time with a special attack.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of like how Devil's Dare was, I think.
Oh yeah, I've not actually. All these years later, I've not actually played that much Devil's Dare. I've tested it lightly, but I need to get the time to do a good co-op session on a backloggery stream someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a $2 super chat from Dad1153.
Oh, thank you.
And perhaps that $2 super chat was unwise because he says, "Who has 1,000 for a RetroTink 4K upgrade?" Hint, not me. I mean, you would have only had 998 to go. Think about it. But I mean, obviously we don't know what it is. It seems like Mike doesn't know what it's going to be, and that's why he said that. So
right.
Mike did say in what was it, Thursday maybe, that he made that post that really kind of outlined what a lot of details. And by the way, from what I played, your special meter refills moderately quickly. Plus, it refills faster when you beat up guys, so you should like use it pretty frequently, I'd say.
All right.
Like I said, what it seemed to me is if you got at least 4 people killed, then they dropped food. But anyway, he said budget $1,000, and then hopefully you'll be.
Yeah. I mean, this seemed to insinuate that it's probably going to be under $1,000.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I understand.
No, but at the same time, it's like it is the first of its kind, like doing something like this. I feel like he probably is doing everything he can to get it as cheap as he can. But at the same time, he probably doesn't want to sacrifice anything either.
Right.
I
mean, it's really, I think it's so interesting how, initially what I thought, I don't mean this as a criticism, it's just interesting. One of the things that I thought was so interesting about the original RetroTink and the other 2X devices that followed was they were, kind of like the lowest cost entry. I mean, I don't know if entry level is the right word, but they were more expensive than what cheap things you'd get on Amazon that don't do anything different than what your TV could already do.
Right.
It was like the lowest cost thing that actually treated video games properly and with no added lag. Like, it was the lowest cost device I was willing to recommend. They were very practical devices. They were, and that's why I found them to be so easy to recommend. And of course, I find the 5X to be easy to recommend. And I expect we'll find the 4K to be easy to recommend. But it's so interesting how Mike went from filling this entry level niche to being like
the go-to,
the first of its kind, by far, like the most advanced available. Right. It's pretty crazy, and I can't tell you how excited I am to play with it, and I will be playing with it this week because it is on its way. A prototype. It doesn't have the final molding. It sounds like it sounds like he's hoping. I mean, it could be ambitious. I don't know. But it sounds like he's hoping for releasing in late 2023. But it's probably several months away at least. But luckily he was able. He had enough parts to send us, or at least me for now, a prototype unit. So I will be able to play around with that this week, and I'm very excited about that. And he has no limitations in terms of preview
Right.
requests.
So you're gonna be like working on doing like a preview episode just to like
yeah, because there's no embargo, there's no limit. I mean, obviously he's confident in the product.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can talk about anything, answer questions. No limitations there. The only thing is, we won't be showing the board because cloners are a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of showing what it does and the results. I mean, the thing that I am by far the most excited about is the HDMI stuff. Because personally, I'm intending to, I'm intending to continue using the Retrode 5X as I am using it with my analog devices. Of course, I'm going to continue to, I'm going to continue to, or I should say, I will test, of course, analog devices on the 4K. But like for how I am personally intending to use it, I don't think I really have a reason right now to switch away from the 5X for analog devices.
Well, and the fact that
the tank is going to open up this whole world of HDMI stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a real need to capture game footage at 4K also. Like unless we specifically need it for something, it just takes a lot of space, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Although theoretically, I mean, it would be kind of cool to start doing every single episode in 4K.
Oh sure. Well, I mean, as it is, I'm doing 1440p with the 5X, so I think that would be good enough for most of our purposes.
Yeah, but I can't. My TV doesn't support it, 1440p.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, not that it matters right now, anyway.
Right. I mean, you could just play on the CRT and capture it. Rears was asking Coury Try, you see the GameStack room tour, the gauntlet has been thrown, and then there was a notification that Zane's dad's been a member for 30 months. Thank you. Saying MLiG needs more brown rooms to compete with GameStack. Well, I mean, boy oh boy, do I have a brown room. I actually have not seen the GameStack tour. Does he have wood panel rooms like me?
No.
Or why are they? What makes them brown?
That's good.
I just like a brown couch and brown furniture, and there's probably wood paneling behind.
I mean, my main couch is brown. I mean, I've got the full on brown going on. So
yeah.
Yeah, you can look forward to that when I get my room tour. When I get that in, but like Retrode 4K preview, Super Nintendo mod review, and those things will come first. Plus Analog Frontiers Part 4.
Yeah.
Then I'll do a room tour. But
yeah. my room tour,
it's kind of crazy all of a sudden how lots of stars are aligning for some pretty crazy content, I think, from us in the coming months.
And you should be getting one probably I'm assuming in the next day or so, but I got a retro Retro Gem PS2 in the mail yesterday from UPS.
So we'll be looking at that too.
So there's
There's a lot of things.
a lot of things.
To review and analyze and figure out.
Yes, and my room tour. And the Genesis Black Box collection whenever that gets done.
I saw Henry Clark say, try uncompressed or really high bitrate capture samples on Patreon, please. I mean, maybe we'll see. Or maybe some screenshots or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably save anything super exciting for the video, or maybe I'll share some high quality stuff.
Dude, when he eats the food, he says that's good.
Does he?
He does.
That's great.
I'll have to
That's good.
Oh, there we go. Then he picks it up. Let's see if we can hear it. Okay. You won't be able to hear it. But let's see.
I like it.
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 Man, I like it every time now.
That's good.
There he is. So that's good. A good hot dog.
Am I like way behind? Because I don't see hot dogs where you are.
Oh, I forgot about Marion. Oh, she's still.
But anyway, while Henry Clark is on my mind, he wanted us to let people know that on the Discord channel, the August MLiG Game Club poll is up. And the theme is fast indies. So the options are Fury, which I am not familiar with. F-U-R-I, Fury. Neon White, which I recently pre-ordered the PS5 physical of that.
I would get it from IM8-bit, but I think that it's just going to be in stores too. Is it available?
Oh, well, I pre-ordered it on Best Buy.
Okay, then that's what I was hoping for. I didn't realize that was available.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was IM8-bit. I first saw it on Best Buy was where I first saw it. And then Dusk, which is, fantastic. I mean, I've only played like 2 levels of it, but it's awesome, and I can't wait to play more. And Steel Assault, which I don't have yet, but you streamed that.
Yeah.
That GBA looking kind of Bionic Commando-y type of thing. Do your characters share a life bar?
No.
So they have separate life bars. I actually didn't, when I was testing it earlier, I didn't know you could switch between them. Yeah, so if you want on the MLiG Discord, go vote on the August Game Club. But anyway, there was a $10 super chat from Robert Hernandez. Thank you. Saying, I think Mike is very wise for saying price expectations now. People will still complain, but the reasoning behind the cost is understandable.
Yeah.
Don't forget, 5X saw a price increase post-release. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, all the inputs also is, causing, price to go up. And, the fact that it's a niche device, one-man band, I think it's understandable. I'd be curious how much an HDMI only version would cost reducing. Like if that would ever be an option for the future.
I don't know.
I'd be really curious about that. Because if it was, then I'd get one of those and start using those with my HD systems, and then I would replace the 5X with the regular 4K with the analog inputs. but as it is, I foresee myself using both for very much the foreseeable future. There was also a $5 super chat from EB Chill 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying my OG Xbox is hooked up to my 5X and my Xbox Series X is connected to my Sony Trinitron. Not sure I deserve a RetroTink 4K. What do you mean don't deserve? I mean, I guess that does sound a somewhat backwards that the Series X. I'm not sure what you're playing on the Series X.
Yeah.
Like original Xbox stuff or Xbox 360? Like, is it a widescreen Trinitron? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you can really get out of that arrangement. But I most certainly respect hooking up things to CRTs that don't belong on CRTs. The subway area is making me think of Final Fight.
I do feel like the jumps are really laggy in this. It's got to be just me, maybe, but I feel like it feels like this game has like the input lag feels noticeable. But it might be like you said, like Double Dragon is like, you know, it's a little heavier and a little slower, but I just feel like in some cases it's like more than I'd expect.
I don't know. I didn't notice it that much when I tested it, but yeah, Double Dragon. Like, I mean, traditionally Double Dragon's like a 30 FPS game, at least on consoles.
Yeah.
And this is not. So, but I don't know.
I'd be curious to see if anybody else who's played this, or if you know, if it's the, maybe it's just.
Or it
the
could
Xbox.
be an Xbox. It could be an Xbox issue.
Yeah.
But you know. Really, I mean, when you're saying, you know, hooking up your Series X to a, you know, a CRT, I mean, you know, I'm so excited to try like modern games outputting at either 720p or 1080p with like some of the filters and effects on the RetroTink 4K. Like I'm so excited to try that. Like, I think there could be some really interesting possibilities. Like, what I'm really curious is, like, can I come up with settings that, like, I would like almost always want to use for 1080p games, like that I would prefer to use versus just running the game directly to the TV. I don't know, but I'm curious to find out. Now, to manage expectations, so what's going on with the input and output from the RetroTink 4K? The input is the HDMI input is capable of whatever HDMI 1.4 is capable of, and the output is capable of whatever HDMI 2.0 is capable of. Although that does include VRR. I mean, I know VRR is more of like a 2.1 thing, but it is possible.
Yeah, I mean, even the retro, like the 5X has.
Yeah,
you can
exactly
inject it. But
right. I've never had a reason to use it there, but I am very curious. You know, of scenarios where that could be useful. But yeah, so like you won't be able to input 1080p 120, but you will be able to input 720p 120. So there could be, you know, I think the series, even though I was thinking about this, like I feel like the Series S could actually be a really cool device to pair up with the RetroTink 4K because, you know, especially if it's like a 120 hertz mode, which is somewhat uncommon on Series S anyway. But I think like if you were outputting those games in like 720p or something, like 720p 120, like I feel like you could do some really cool things with the Series S on the RetroTink 4K potentially. But I feel like the Venn diagram of the target audience for Series S and the target audience for RetroTink 4K is like the least overlap of any other console. Because my understanding is that VRR is in there, or I don't know if it's like VRR or if it's like FreeSync or something like that.
I mean, that's what it was before. Like, I mean, that's what it is on their 5X.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Like I thought for a long time I thought VRR was just like an umbrella term, like for like G-Sync and FreeSync, but unless I'm mistaken, my understanding is actually that VRR is the proper name of the, you know, the HDMI consortium name. Oh,
I can go back.
Oh man, screen scrolling before you pick up food is like, oh, it's still there. That's good.
Yeah, thankfully.
Screen scrolling before you pick up the food is like the worst brawler trope.
Yeah.
Or maybe not trope, but it's a bad feeling when it happens. Because you're like, oh, maybe I'll wait and see if I get hit, and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's going away. Sorry Fuzz says, I thought 720p screens were a myth. I mean, kind of, but in a way, the RetroTink 4K is like basically going to be able to turn 4K screens into something that looks like a native 720p screen. I think that is
how
going
you
to be
beat the boss right here. Oh, finally he got to me.
Huh?
I was gonna say this is how you beat the boss, but it was like, oh, and then just got wasted.
Oh, I don't think this is the boss because this isn't the guy that was like on the level select screen.
Oh.
I think. I mean, I didn't play
Jeez.
very far, but I'm guessing there's checkpoints in the levels because, like, when you first enter the level, it says checkpoint reached.
Right. So I don't have enough money to continue. So you got to start over if you don't earn enough money. How do I pay 3 tokens? How do I get tokens? Pay 3 tokens. How do I earn a token?
I can't know.
So it says need more tokens. Cash out and delete practice. Cash out and receive 1 game token at the exchange of 1,000 per game token.
I mean, when you were setting up the game, you were able to change the parameters of how easily you got stuff.
Right.
So it seems to be very much like kind of a run-based game.
Yes.
Which I think that's
playing a game from spend. Oh, Caesar. Okay, so a Bobo is unlockable. Burnov, Linda.
Oh, they're
MG Willie.
There was a $5 super chat from Robert Hernandez again. Thank you. Saying my wishes are coming true. Try is previewing the RetroTink 4K and Coury is about to release his game room tour. I cannot contain my excitement. That's good. Well, I don't know about Coury about to release game room tour.
But I mean, it's going to be my next video.
Oh, is it the next video?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
Yeah. I didn't. Obviously, I didn't get as much done on it this week as I would have liked to, which I hopefully is understandable for people. I have to go down to Louisville for work on Tuesday, and I'll be back on Wednesday. But then, like I'll work on it a bunch tomorrow, and see what I can get done. I mean, I do admit that like seeing Joe's tour like made me feel like, oh, it's because it's just like a lot of slider shots. But
Oh,
it's like that's how it will be for mine, but also like a lot of handheld stuff. And like I go more in depth on things, it's not just like, oh, here's the games. It's like, because I have like just so much going on in this room and like different ways that it's connected.
Retro Coop says, just keep playing story mode. Turn on infinite continues if you want. Oh, yeah, I see how you can do that.
Oh, cool. Change rate. So
I think you were talking so much that you weren't even paying attention to like what options you had there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the more appropriate way to do it for this stream, I think.
Yes.
I like the idea that they're going for there.
Yeah, I mean that's how Devil's Dare was, where it's like you have to earn enough money to buy your continues.
I think it's a good idea. But for a 3-hour stream, maybe not.
Right.
I feel like I was going to comment on something.
So I can keep on comboing them even after they're like health is gone.
Brian North says, the good thing is that the 4K will provide more options. I will be sticking with my 5X for a while. It doesn't make it suddenly a bad product. Absolutely. We were warned a long time ago that these scalers that go beyond the, they go up to 4K are likely to be pretty expensive. So
yeah.
It was we definitely had the inkling that it was going to be to where like the lower cost devices were certainly not going to be outdated because they're in a completely different price range.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm going to continue using both. I'm not. I mean, I guess I would be happily proven wrong, but I'm not expecting the result for analog upscaling to necessarily be so huge of a jump over the 5X.
Right. Well, the real appeal, I think, for analog over that is like the 4K overlays.
Yes, and the thing is, the way I'm using my 5X right now is not really for me. It's for capture in streams. Like I'm looking in my, analog gaming room. I've got CRTs set up and I've got the Retrode 5X set up. And I'm looking at the CRTs for me to see what I'm doing. And the 5X is only serving the purpose of digitizing it in good quality for capturing streams, and the overlays don't look. I mean, I'm not saying the Retrode 5X overlays don't look good for capture, just scan lines and CRT effects and LCD effects in general just don't translate well to web video.
Well, no, it's not just that, but it's the fact that we could add that stuff afterwards if we wanted to, or get specific shots on that. We don't want to record all of our footage with this stuff permanently burned into it.
Well, sure. And that stuff works well for close-ups and stuff, but like, you know, if we had on the stream here, you know, it would be kind of an incomprehensible mess because of the way it's scaled down for the stream, and then it's scaled down and, you know, the viewers' windows so that they can see the chat next to it, and we don't know what their native resolution is, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just that kind of stuff often looks very bad in web videos. So that's why we don't use those. Whereas the Retrode 4K, I will connect it to my capture card, like, you know, for, you know, the preview episode and any other episode where I'm like specifically showing like, here's what the Retrode 4K can do. But I'm actually, what I'm excited about is I will be able to use those CRT overlay effects and other things like that on my TV while sending the stream a clean signal. So like, for example, I could, you know, send a clean feed from the Mister, just clean, unaffected HDMI, and then maybe I could capture the analog from the Mister, or downsample the downscale and resample the 1440p or something like that. So, you know, that's my idea with it. Like, you know, if I wanted to do a nearest neighbor capture of 720p or 1080p to 4K in OBS, I can do it. You know, I showed how to do that in the M Classic and 4K Gamer Pro episode, where you know, just
That's good.
make a 4K canvas, set your input capture as 720p or 1080p or whatever it is, and then scale it to the size of the canvas, but use right click the source and tell it to use point filtering. I can do that. I can do those kinds of things in OBS, but like for viewing on TV without lag, you would need the Retrode 4K to do that. And, you know, I want to do that. I want to do scanline and CRT filters and LCD filters and stuff like that. Just for me, you know, like I don't want to stream it that way, but I want to be able to see it that way when I'm streaming. And then, I'll either, for videos, I'll either take off screenshots or, you know, I'll just temporarily connect it to the capture card to capture it. That's what's got me excited, is like I will be able to use, because I don't really use those kinds of filters, and I want to, especially now that I have like black frame TV with black frame insertion. I think that's really going to sell like the CRT vibe, and I just don't get to use that stuff very much because I'm, you know, often streaming or recording, and you know, it's going to look bad if I do that on the stream or recording. But here I can just bypass that and do it on the Retrode 4K, and the stream can have clean image quality, no filters, and I on my TV get the things. That's what I'm excited about.
I didn't see that. That's special.
Awesome.
Well, I see Rummy Raisin says Joe's theater room was super cool. I'm gonna have to watch that. I did not know he released such a video today. I'm very curious to see.
Yeah, it was like a bonus video. I knew he was doing it. I knew it was coming out.
Awesome.
I knew it was coming out.
Okay.
Like, I knew he was
was it released today or not? Or a different?
Yeah, it came out today.
Okay. I just wasn't sure since you called it a bonus video.
Yeah, well, it was like it's like not a typical episode. It's like when he does like the bonus episodes that are like, I don't know, he like made an extra video essentially. So it's like a bonus video. It comes out on a week that it would normally not come out on. Then he would not normally release on.
Kaylee Gamer says characters look too zoomed out for me with this game. I feel like the characters look pretty sizable. this to me. I feel like, the pixels are pretty chunky. I don't like super tiny sprites either, but these seem like a reasonable size to me. There was I guess we just answered this, but Legendary K4, there was a notification that they've been a member for 6 months in a row. Thank you. Saying hey, what did you guys think of GameSack's room tour? Would love to see an update from both of you. Well,
really
those updates will come. Updates will come.
I mean, I feel like mine is going to be like over an hour, but it's hard to say. Like the script I have is like something like 17 pages, but I'm gonna cut it down.
I've thought about dividing my tours into 2 videos. It wouldn't make sense for you, but for me, I've basically got 2 different setups.
I know, but if you watch Joe's, like he has like separate rooms with stuff also.
Well, yeah, but I'm undecided, but I'm just saying I feel like an argument could be made for mine making sense, maybe making sense as 2 videos, but maybe not. It's just undecided. Oh, so that was the last guy that one.
What?
You're on another level.
Well, you can choose a different level. You can choose.
Oh, so you died.
After the first one, you can choose. Yeah, I started over.
I see. That's good. There was also a $5 super chat from IWI brackets SI close brackets. I don't know how to say that. Iwisi. Saying, Coury, I apologize. I said that RBG.
Oh, retro bit game. I think.
Oh.
I saw it in there and like.
Told me Glay Lancer will ship at the end of July, but I can't find a reply. I can't find any shipping ETA.
Listen, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Like, I mean, we talked about this extensively last week. Like, at this point, it's just you just gotta look at anything as like what you're buying is a future surprise for yourself.
Yes. I think of it as retirement planning. I'm building up stuff to play now when the inevitable digital only future makes me much less interested in buying games in the future. I'll still have a whole bunch of stuff to play going forward, no matter what happens to modern games.
It's really hard to kill like 4 guys at one time.
I mean, with the special, I found it to not be that hard. As long as they were lined up.
Yeah, us lining them up.
Well, you don't have to do 4. I think it's probably a better heal if you get 4. But I found it works with 3 as well.
Oh, it definitely doesn't work with 2.
There was a $2 super chat from good old Jonathan Henson. Thank you. Just saying, what's up, fellas?
I wonder if he sold those NES games. He sold something like the limited run NES games that he had bought.
Oh.
And I saw one of them was Metal Storm, and I was considering it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like the most like interesting thing when it comes to those releases is when it's games that did not get US releases.
Right.
Like, there we go. Give me that burger. I mean, that's like the main thing. Like, even if it's a game that's like expensive but got a US release, like Metal Storm, or I don't know, he had like one of them was like Shadow of the Ninja. Like that like I'd probably spend the money on like the original cartridges before I bought one of those. But when it's something like Mega Man Wily Wars that never got an official U.S. release or Clay Lancer, I'll totally get that. Like that. Because it really is, like, you know, it's like the official U.S. release of that at that point, you know? And that's cool.
Oh, hey, it's a Bobo.
Yeah. Ababo.
That's
I see Retro Morgan asking, Try, when you going for Valis again?
What?
You know, you and I have both been very bad. The games that we got to the final boss of the previous 2 weeks, we did not. Oh, a hamburger.
good.
We did not go back and beat them.
Oh, really? So you
previous
didn't go back
week.
and do it either?
No, I didn't. I should have. But I didn't.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
I believe in your ability to beat a Bobo.
Yeah.
I believe. Another hamburger.
I was hoping I was gonna.
Lucky me.
It doesn't matter. I mean. So it says not enough cash. How come I can't continue? I thought I was supposed to be allowed to continue here. It says not enough cash. Or do I gotta start the level over? Which would be fine.
That's a great question.
Yeah, okay, so you do get.
Oh, that was just for reviving,
Let's go.
not for continuing.
I see.
Retro Morgan was asking if we're doing Retro World, and a lot of people have been asking about that, but I'm pretty sure we're not
really?
doing it this year.
No, it's like in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never really came up. I mean, people have asked me a bunch if
Yeah,
we're going.
yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, the people who run it, like, even, like, the last couple of years, they were, like, unsure because they're trying to get, like, just, like, some new people that aren't there every year. And I, like,
Right.
I totally
I
understand.
understand that.
Yeah. But in October, we're going to Nashville.
Right, we're going to the Music City Multicon.
Yeah.
I talked to Steve a bit about that when I was picking up my CRTs the other week. He
Yeah.
said,
Oh, yeah, he's going to be there.
Yeah. He said he'll take us around to some of the cool shops in the area.
Yeah, we'll probably see what's like. I don't think he's a guest at it, but
Displaced Gamers.
yes.
Yep. Yeah, Steve mentioned him too. Steve was I guess had been really getting into Laserdisc lately,
Yeah.
and he was like showing me like some like James Bond Laserdiscs that he got at some place near there. They were like they were marked for like $5 or $6 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'd buy James Bond Laserdiscs for that price, even if I didn't have a Laserdisc player, which I don't.
I was at the pool like last week, and there's some guy there that had these swim trunks that had the Moonraker poster on it. And I like went around, so I gotta ask, like I was like, why Moonraker? Like why I assume that they had like other ones, like why'd you go with Moonraker? He was like, oh, this one was on the clearance rack.
Understandable. I actually, I kind of got on a Bond kick several months ago, and I rewatched a bunch of the ones that I hadn't rewatched in a long time, and Moonraker was one of those. And, you know, it's pretty silly. But you know what? I gotta say like, even though it's the whole thing is silly, like the set design is actually really nice in that one. Like the space station, like visually it looks quite good. Oh, there was a hot dog behind the dead bodies, and you
That's right,
left the room.
I got another one popping up here. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Come on. How do I revive my partner, I wonder?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can't. There was a $5 super chat from Luca. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, have either of you pre-ordered the Neo Geo CD controller from 8-Bit Dough? Can't wait for the clicky D-pad.
I did. I didn't even know it was a thing until like, and I didn't see it even advertised anywhere until like it just like recommended for you on Amazon because like you buy so many different controllers from them, you know, they probably just knew.
Yeah. I pre-ordered it as well. I honestly, like, I don't think I've ever used one, so I honestly don't even know if I'm really going to like it.
Well, you know that there's a Neo, like they added Neo Geo CD to the Neo Geo Core and the Mister recently. So
well,
that's a good way to use it.
Sure, but it's just like my point is like I literally don't know if I will enjoy using it versus say the Super Nintendo Switch Online controller that I often use with Mister or the 8-Bit Dough M30. But I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance because it is like a major first-party controller.
A Bobo time.
You know, for a console that I don't have a lot of experience with, and also like I could, you know, use it with a USB adapter on my real Neo Geo MVS. So you know, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance. I don't have any like official Neo Geo controllers at all, so I thought, and that's the only one that I would have any chance of liking. You know, because I'm not going to like one of the arcade sticks. I don't like arcade sticks. There you go. So I'm looking forward to giving it a good try. There was also a $5 super chat from Mega X6. Thank you.
Thank you.
With a comment saying, randomness. I decided to buy an Indiana Jones fedora with Crusade-style brim from Germany. Should be arriving this week. I'm excited to get it. I assume he means that it's like the brim is like it is in The Last Crusade. I never realized that
it was different in that. Maybe
it was different.
Awesome.
It's interesting. Oh yeah, you totally got both of those.
Let's don't
Awesome.
get too confident. You never know.
Yeah, I mean you don't, but you're doing good.
There we go.
There was a notification that John H has been a member for 14 months in a row. Thank you.
Dang.
Saying, how are you handling your systems and controllers? Are you using 8-Bit Dough replacement boards and original controllers or 2.4 gigahertz? I'll answer first just because my situation is generally much simpler. I'm mostly just using original controllers. I store them in plastic bags so they don't get dirty and the cords don't tangle up with other controllers. And I store them in an IKEA drawer and I pull them out as needed because for my wired controller systems, I'm not sitting that far away from them, so I don't need wireless. However, I did get one of those N64. Is it Blue Retro? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
N64
yeah.
one?
I mean that's.
Yeah. And I actually bought because the Nintendo Switch Online N64 controllers
That's good.
came back in stock,
Mhm.
and so
Okay.
I decided to order a second one just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it seemed
I
like a good thing to have a backup of.
yeah, I did that. A while ago.
Especially since, I would like to keep one synced up to the Blue Retro. I still haven't gotten around to testing it. But I will. I will. But yeah, mine's pretty simple. But you, on the other hand, have been much more into wireless adapters and replacement
Yeah, I mean, for the most part,
things.
I've been slowly moving everything over to like Blue Retro stuff. Although, like, for the Neo Geo, I ordered one of the Retro Frog SNES to Neo adapters that lets you put in like the 8-bit-do receivers into like either your Super Gun or your Neo Geo system. Although I think I'm still gonna buy, like, I'm waiting for Humble Bazooka's Neo Geo Blue Retro to come back in stock at Stone Age Gamer, and then I'll probably get that because I want to be able to use the 8-bit-do Neo Geo controller with it. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm waiting for Humble Bazooka's Saturn one that's coming out, and I have a 8-bit-do replacement kit for a Saturn controller. I already have that in there, like the mod kit. I mean, I got a whole bunch of different stuff because, like, the way that my setup is, if I can, I'll only use wires if I need to, if I absolutely need to, because of how vertical the setup is. That just like requires like longer extensions and stuff, and I just like hate those wires, controller cables like hanging so far down. So I talk about it in the setup video about how I try to go wireless whenever possible, but I do have like these little like hoops, these like Velcro, like I have like a I don't know if you want to, like, you could use this like guide speaker wire. I like use one of those and I put like a piece of like Velcro through it so that I can run a controller cable through it and then use the Velcro to keep it so it doesn't slide around. It just like kind of tapers it and makes it more invisible. That doesn't make any sense, but it's hard to explain. But I will avoid using wires as much as possible. And I think that at this point, I don't think I have to use wires with any system now that I have like there's the TurboGrafx controller from controller adapters, but there's also a Blue Retro for the TurboGrafx, but there's no Bluetooth like TurboGrafx style controller for it. So I use controller adapters, PC Engine or whatever to USB, and you can use 8-bit-do's 2.4 gigahertz controllers with that. It's like a super. Oh, can I do like a double jump? There is a double jump.
Oh yeah. I meant
I didn't know that.
I meant to mention that because I noticed
flip.
that there is. There was a $10 chat once again from Robert Hernandez. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying following up on the RetroTink 4K and its HDMI 1.4 input. What effect might that have when paired with HDMI-based consoles, DC digital, PS1 digital, and modern HDMI 2.0 AV receivers used as a HDMI switch? Could that cause issues? I don't think it will, and I don't actually know if like it's like HDMI 1.4 spec officially. Like, it just might mean that is he might have just meant like that's the amount of bandwidth that is available. Like, it Like I don't think HDMI 1.4 is like officially handed out as like even handed out as like a specification anymore anyway. So just that's the amount of bandwidth you can expect on that port. Now for stuff like, like DC Digital or PS1 Digital, you would be able to set those to output a lower resolution and then scale up from there with the Retrode 4K. But even if you fed it like 1080p or 1200p or even 1440p, I could be mistaken, but I think 1440p 60 should still be fine on 1.4. I'm not 100% positive, but I think 1440p 60 is okay. But here's what I'm going to do. I was explaining this in the Discord a little earlier today. So something that I had been experimenting with, I put a 4K computer monitor downstairs. It had been up here, but I moved it downstairs. And I wanted to just like be able to, the main thing was to just have an extra monitor for streaming purposes. But another thing I wanted to do with it was, well, like maybe I don't feel like turning on the TV, and I want to just sometimes see like a game console on it. Like maybe I'm doing something mundane, like running updates or checking something on the store or something like that, right? Like it's just like, yeah, I don't feel like turning on the OLED all the time necessarily. So I was experimenting with using Zone 2 Monitor 2 output from the AV receiver into that monitor. The problem though, that monitor is not HDMI 2.1. So my systems, PS5, Xbox Series X, they would detect like, oh, you can't do 4K 120, you can't do VRR, stuff like that. So what I did was I took a two-way HDMI switcher.
I mean,
it has this,
can I just ask you about this right here? Like, if I go right there, like I fall down there. That just like feels like.
Oh, it doesn't feel obvious that there's a gap there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell that the next platform is up, but it doesn't look like a gap. It doesn't look like a hole.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've got this two-way mechanical HDMI switcher. And basically, I can take the monitor 2 output from the AV receiver. Monitor 1 goes to the TV, of course, which is HDMI 2.1. The output from monitor 2 goes through the mechanical switcher into the 4K monitor. And if I want to make the PS5 and the Series X blind to the fact that it's kind of connected to a device that can't do HDMI 2.1, I just press the button on the mechanical switcher and it can no longer see the monitor on the other side because that HDMI cable is fundamentally connected to nothing. So, I don't really use that a whole lot. So what I'm actually going to do now instead with the Retrode 4K is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take monitor 2 out of the AV receiver, connect that to the HDMI input on the Retrode 4K, and then the output from the Retrode 4K will go to a different input on my TV. So I'll have one input that is just unfiltered HDMI going to my TV. The other input will be anything I pass through the Retrode 4K to the TV. So basically, if it's like, okay, I want to use 4K video, You know, I want to use native 4K video or whatever. Then, or HDR or anything. Although I think I'm not. No, I don't guess you would be able to input HDR, but I think it does have HDR output. But not HDR input. I think. I could be wrong, but I think. But anyway.
Ooh, I got a turkey for that one.
Dang! Crowd Control 5. Wow. So anyway, what I'll do is, if I don't want my PS5 or Xbox Series X or any other 4K capable console, if I don't want it to know that there is a device in the chain that can't do 4K, I just push that button on the switcher, and it'll be none the wiser that the Retrode 4K is in the chain. None the wiser. RJ Nash is saying, looks like I've lost weight for sure. No, I don't think so. Maybe you just haven't seen me on this camera setup. I've been using this camera for streams that for all that.
I mean, there's definitely some annoyingness with the controls in this. I feel like everybody just moves too slow. I mean, they just like, I don't know, it does not feel as responsive as I would like it to be.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of Double Dragon, honestly.
Not Double Dragon Neon.
Oh, that's true. Now that's a game I'm excited to try with the Retrode 4K. I see Mr. Self-Improvement here said, who's this Bruce Willis wannabe? Where's Coury? Did he get his LASIK yet? Is he the John McClane cosplayer? It's been so long since I saw him without glasses and a beard. Who are you?
And a beard?
Yeah,
Well,
you missed all of the gross LASIK talk at the beginning of the stream.
If you want to hear more about it, I talk about it pretty extensively in tomorrow's podcast.
Oh, okay.
So,
When'd you record that?
on Friday.
That's good.
What was Chris's reaction?
I mean, it's just, you know, he did not feel particularly grossed out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's had some. I mean, I listened to the podcast where he talked about he had like some sort of eye surgery as a kid.
Yeah.
I bet because of that, though, he probably wouldn't be a good candidate for LASIK.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. It just takes some getting used to. You know, like, it just requires me to think about things differently than I have in 34 years.
Thank you.
I guess.
That's good.
I bet this like feels like a lot better in 2-player mode.
Oh, I bet. I mean, I liked what I played, so I mean, I'm looking forward to. I mean, it definitely seems like a good backlog.
No. I mean, I like it. I wish it just like felt like more responsive.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if because wasn't it the Xbox version of Shredder's Revenge that had a good bit more input lag?
Maybe.
I think it was. I mean, not that there's any reason I know of that should be like an Xbox problem, but I think that was a thing. Like, that happens all the time where just these different versions of these games, just for whatever reason, have different amounts of input lag. But you know, the physical that I bought is the Switch version, so I'll be curious. There was a $4.99 super chat from John H.
Oh,
Thank you. And are you all familiar with NES and SNES RGB mods? There are so many options and add-ons, especially with palettes. I feel a bit clueless. Yeah, so for Super Nintendo, definitely wait until our hopefully in the next month or so we'll be able to do a video on.
I don't know. I thought it was coming soon, but you still haven't received it yet.
Yeah, I haven't received it yet. But hopefully we will be doing soon a new Super Nintendo RGB mod video, which actually will kind of feature 3 mods, but one of them will be the main highlight of it. But it's kind of like bringing like an original model Super Nintendo kind of to its ultimate RGB form. And I'm really excited to take a look at it. But I say that to say at least wait for that, because Super Nintendo is about to change radically.
Yeah.
However, if you have a 1-chip or a junior console, that's not really going to change. So the two main things I recommend getting done for Super Nintendo, if you have a 1-chip or a junior, is get the Voltar RGB board that's designed for 1-chips that brings the video levels more in line. And also there's a capacitor that you want to replace with a higher value capacitor. And I don't know a lot of details of that off the top of my head. People who install mods would hopefully know what that's referring to. And if they don't, then that might not be.
He's not even on the same line as me. Like, I should be, like, not being hit there.
Oh.
Right? You see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Well, to be fair, Marion can probably exploit that too. But anyway, so yeah, but if you have a non-1-chip Super Nintendo and want to improve your RGB, definitely wait for our upcoming video in the next month or so. So. That said, for NES, I'm actually not aware of anything really other than the Tim Worthington RGB board. And then when it comes to color palettes, you just need to pick a color palette that your installer can install the color palette for you, and just it'll be whatever you want it to be. It can be.
This level is like super.
Everyone kind of has different opinions about what NES colors should look like, because NES does not have RGB colors natively, and the official Play Choice 10 palette looks really bad, so you don't want to deal with that. So you want to get one of the community made ones. I like the Firebrand X ones, like Smooth, or I really like the I don't know, there might be even a new version of the Firebrand X ones. They got updated so many times, it's easy to lose track. I also really like the new-ish. I guess it's not that new, because I think it was new when we did our Mr. video. The Katrinks palette, which is like programmatically derived. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that palette though, because it's based on what the system is actually outputting and not how the composite colors might be interpreted by a CRT. So
That part is it's so frustrating because you cannot jump just subtly enough to not get hit by those.
So there's palettes that there's palettes that like I can't think of one off the top of my head, but they mimic more of like the CRT. Or you can get one that mimics the NES Classic Edition. If to you that feels official. Or a lot of people really like the Mega Man 9 color palette. You can get that. So just pick what feels right to you. If I'm not mistaken, the Tim had to make the board so that it couldn't have multiple palette choices anymore, or it might be a separate board. I forget, but I think you do have to kind of pick a singular palette now. You used to be able to pick multiple palettes and to have like a switch installed on the back and you could flip between them. And I really need to get my NES palettes updated. They haven't been updated in many years, and I'd kind of like to have newer ones, but still the ones that are on there I'm very happy with. I would just like something different for the future. But anyway, yeah, so NES, really just Tim Worthington. Pick a color palette, try different color palettes with your favorite games on emulators and see like which one feels correct to you. And then just wait for info on that upcoming video.
Let's see.
Hey Sandy, you wanna come say hi to the stream? Come say hi to the stream.
Thank you.
Look.
I feel like I just take a ton of damage from like everything.
My turn.
Oh. Come say hi.
Thank you.
I mean, there's a reason why brawlers like have all your enemies fall down when you die, or when you continue, like all the enemies fall down. Because I don't know if you saw it, like I continued and jumped out, and my character jumped out and says like his catchphrase and gets like hit while that's happening, and like loses a quarter of his life.
I never really thought about that. I noticed it, but I never really thought about the reason that was such a common trope. Oh, so okay, because you had a quarter or a token or whatever.
Yeah, well, I had enough money to buy another continue. Finally.
Johnny, she's a Shetland sheepdog, which is, some people call them miniature collies. Although I'm not sure if that might actually be a different thing.
Hopefully everybody doesn't mind me putting single eye drops in, right? I'm just not used to looking at a screen so much. I mean,
you know what? What I thought was funny was I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but when Joe and I were watching the Blade movies a couple months ago.
Yeah.
One of the in the first movie, the nurse helps them create some new anti-vampire stuff using an anticoagulant called EDTA, and that's what's in the eye drops that Sandy takes. And I was like, oh, well, I guess we know Sandy's not a vampire now. Just in case we were unsure. I didn't know it was an anticoagulant until Blade taught me that. Comic book movies teach you things.
Every once in a while. Yeah, I'm sure you haven't
like,
watched that Secret Invasion, did you?
I have not.
Let's go.
I don't really know what they were doing with that.
Yeah.
I heard they did like 4 months of reshoots on it.
Really?
It has like a Russia heavy plot, and they had to like reshoot a whole bunch. But it just like, I don't know. I don't really know what they're. I thought it was gonna be. It should have been good. Like it has like good moments in it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I definitely heard some maybe not the most positive things about
Yeah.
it. It's hard to imagine though. Like you would think that a series with Sam Jackson would be one of the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, like there's a lot of people in it, and I expected it to be like better than it was. I think that the biggest challenge of what's going on right now is that there's like so many different things happening, and they're just like introducing so many different things that it's like so long before you see characters again, and it's going to be even longer. I just think that they have like spread things out in such a way that now it's like years and years before characters like reappear again.
Well, and even longer with the strikes.
Yeah.
It's I mean, just their current situation with just kind of everything is so oversaturated at this point. Like,
yeah.
They definitely kind of need a cooler.
Yeah. I think that I think that they know that too.
Yeah, I think they know that, but they're like, but money.
Well, I mean, I think that the guy who took over, who was like in charge of Disney, was that way, but then he was like, he got fired, and the old guy went back. So I think that they are gonna they're gonna course correct, but it's gonna be a long time before they course correct.
Right.
And
well, I mean, but
they
again,
spent
with the
so much
strikes,
money.
with the strikes, they might actually have time to maybe step back and reflect a bit about what. Okay, maybe we can cancel some of these plans. You know.
Yes.
Because so people aren't so sick of Star Wars anymore. You know.
Yeah. So when there's not any platforming involved, I think that it's pretty good. But that last level with the cliffs was like really annoying.
Well, that's kind of what made me stop playing Double Dragon 1 on NES. Was platforming, like the cliffside level.
Yeah.
I was just like, ugh. I gave up trying to beat Double Dragon 1 NES.
That's good. Thank you.
I do want to get Double Dragon 2 though, and play through that sometime. Because
Double Dragon 2 is good.
I like what I've played of 2.
It's got a really unique control scheme.
Yeah.
That like makes sense, I think.
Yes, I really like it. It stands out a bit, I think.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's almost like the 2D version of the dual stick brawler, right?
In a way, yeah.
In a way.
But it goes back to like that whole control scheme. I think was like introduced in Renegade, which like predated.
Oh, that's true. I think you're right. Renegade's bad though.
Yeah, but that predated Double Dragon.
Everything. Yeah. I want to like Renegade though, but yeah, I can't.
I like it.
Because I mean, it is the
When he says I like it,
original-
I can't help thinking of the one guy from RoboCop when he uses the big gun, and he's like, I like it.
Is that RoboCop 1 or RoboCop 2?
That's RoboCop 1.
I've only seen those one time.
Yeah. All of them, even the first one. I mean,
I think I saw part of 2 on TV like back in the day, but like actually watching all the way through them. Yeah, I've only seen them one time. Have to stream and watch RoboCop 1 again now. I mean, not bad advice, honestly. Not bad advice.
all right.
Yeah, just a little hiccup burp, you know. You know how it goes.
Thank you. Lucky me.
Lucky me.
And that kind of look those like that crushed up garbage kind of looks like the body parts.
Yeah, like flesh.
I am uncertain that is garbage.
What is it intended to look like?
Lucky me.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it's intended to look like.
It looks
but
like the inside of my eyeball.
before like between your consultation and before you had it done, you messaged me and said, "Oh, I just had the consultation. I'm going to get done this afternoon. The only downside is my eyes are going to look like Ultimas."
Yeah. For those that have played Final Fantasy 16.
Yes. Which, he does have very distinctive eyeballs.
Yeah, like gross eyes for sure.
Yes.
I finally like got back to it last night. I played a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish that like it maintained the momentum that it has though. It's like sometimes it like gets momentum and it's like stops. And it's like, all right, so we're gonna go back to the hideaway and you're just gonna like tool around about like doing whatever for a little
Yeah. I mean, it does though do a good job, I think, of when it is a moment, it does feel like a moment, right?
Yeah.
Like it definitely has, I would say, more and more frequent, what we term Final Fantasy moments than most of the more recent games have.
Yeah. Out of that one line though that I don't know if you saw that screenshot that I took.
Oh, and chat with Duke and Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't really even think anything about that.
I was just like, what?
I mean, he was talking about his Kupo nuts.
I understand that. I get it.
But now that you say that, though, I realize, okay, I guess it was a funny line.
Yeah. We're talking about Torgal and like, what is his name? Tomes? Like the old guy?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Why
yeah.
the beast has the appetite of a behemoth. Just as very morn, I found him with his nose buried in my nuts. I'm like, that's fine.
Just this very morning.
But just this very morning, I saw him with his face buried in my nuts. I mean, like, they knew it was funny.
They knew what they were writing.
They knew what they were writing.
Speaking of Kupo nuts, I posted this on the the Instagram. I thought it was pretty funny. Will it show up on? Oh, it's not gonna show up on on my camera. Or maybe I can download the photo and put it in OBS. I don't know. It didn't get a lot of traction on Instagram, but I thought it was funny. I went to the local camera store the other day, and there was a light stand.
Yeah, the Kupo.
And the brand was Kupo. It says Kupo, never let go. And that to me that just sounds like, you know, Mog's #1 hit single.
Will you share the shot that I took about Torgal?
Oh, sure. Kupo, never let go.
I wonder if the upgrades carry over.
I mean, it's not gonna translate very well to my tiny window here.
Yeah.
But
awesome. But I love this one. That's a photograph that I took of my television, so I was laughing about it. Justice Very Morn.
Justice Very Morn. You know,
is the audio messed up? I hope it's not. Let me know if it is or if it isn't. Okay.
What was I gonna say? You know, speaking of, you know, taking photos, you know, off your TV, I only just recently discovered that if you have the PlayStation app installed on your phone, you can set your PS5 to like automatically upload the screenshots you take, and then you open up the app on your phone and you like instantly have access to download the photo. And so like that actually has me more compelled to actually use the screenshot button on my controller, because it's like, oh, I don't know, I didn't know you could do that. It just seemed like too big of a pain to get screenshots off the system, so I just never.
I mean, whenever I save like video clips or whatever, I copy them to my USB.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a 128 gig USB that I use for like backing up saves for like all systems.
Yeah, really. I mean, I almost never use video recording functionality anyway.
I mean, I only use it if it's something I feel like I might want to like capture later. If I'm not recording something, if it's just like a glitch.
Right, but then the capture quality is like not that good.
You can have it set to 4K.
Yeah, but I mean, I tested it. I was not really that satisfied with the quality.
Well,
but I mean, if it was a moment that you wouldn't be able to recapture any other way.
Yeah,
like
I mean, like a glitch.
Yeah, totally understand that. I just like in the moment, I often don't think of using that functionality, you know, just because I'm so unaccustomed to using it, because I'm so accustomed to just, you know, being able to capture normally. But now that I am thinking about it more often for screenshots, you know, I think think I'll take advantage of it a little more often for video, or I'll try to think of it.
Doesn't get any better than flying knee 4 scorpions at one time.
That sounds bad for your knee.
Bad for 4 scorpions.
Wow. Suddenly feel like I ran out of stuff to say.
So you started playing. I don't know why you started playing this when you have like so many games you got to play to finish for the year. You started playing Chia.
Yeah, well, just because I completely forgot the physical of that was even coming.
Right.
Well, I started playing it, but like, you know, I mean, the previews made it just look like a really chill version of Wind Waker or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I only played like maybe 2 hours of it or so. It was just boring. Like, well, because I looked it up on how long to beat, and I'm like, oh, this isn't long. But you know, I mean, I thought it had like a neat little indie art style, and you know, it looked fun, but just it doesn't feel very good to play, and just it's just kind of really boring most of the time. But yeah, I was just like, I mean, maybe I can come back to this another year and find it to be more fun than I'm finding it right now. So I was just thinking about, I just wanted to try it just because I just got it. But I went back to what my original plan was to be my next game after finishing Final Fantasy 16, which was to start Nier Automata, which I did last night.
Oh, cool.
I didn't get very far. So what surprised me, I mean, I know the whole thing about like the multiple endings and that credits will appear multiple times, and that doesn't mean that you should stop playing, right? You should keep going.
Right.
I know this. But I was surprised, really surprised, and I don't know if I just like misunderstood if there was like another way around this, but like I actually died like in that opening level. You know, there's like the
robot with the big buzzsaws.
The robot with the big buzzsaws. And like at first you just encounter the one buzzsaw. And I want to say that it was automatically healing you in that first fight. But then
that intro is super long without a save. And if you die, you got to do the whole thing over again.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I died because I was just not quick enough with my heals on the second one when the buzzsaws came. And I died, and there was like fast forward credits. It was an ending. It was a bad end.
Yeah, they're probably ending A, right? So you have it.
It's a W on my file.
Okay. Then.
Yeah, so I was like, what? And they just make you do the whole thing again without like any any context, any like, you know, just like I was just like, wait, did I accidentally like skip like a try again or something? And, like I gotta say, I respect their audacity
to do that, because I mean it doesn't really happen again.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, if you died a second time, would it do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I respect their audacity for doing that. I mean, that's you know, that's something that I'm sure Yoko Taro had to fight for. Like, because you know that could be a discouraging introduction to the game for a lot of people. You know, I really liked the difficulty level descriptions. Like Normal said, you know, the most balanced and enjoyable version of the game, probably. But yeah, I was surprised by that, but I was just like that kind of set the tone for the game, right? So I was really tired. Like I like it was not. I started the game pretty late last night, so
when that happened, were you like kind of pissed off? Probably, I bet.
No, I wasn't really. But I was concerned because it was so late. And I was like, oh man, am I even going to get to where I can save my game before I'm just like too tired?
Lucky me.
And you know, I was pretty tired, but I did like I beat the boss.
Good.
I got to
The town or whatever.
Well, no,
Or the ground.
like, well, I don't know if it's a town, but like, it went to this like space station,
Okay, yeah, I am.
and it said save available.
Yeah.
So I saved, and
In your like your room.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. So, I mean, I thought about playing it this afternoon, but I didn't get around to it. So, I'll probably play a little bit after the stream. Like, is your ability to save pretty regular after that point?
Yeah. It's like that beginning part is definitely an abnormality.
Okay, like you don't have to like be like back in the space station or anything like that. Can you just like save
There's
out
a
in the
town
field or in the
also.
middle of a level?
There's like a human town,
Okay,
or like not a human town, but like a
Android town or whatever
Yeah.
you are, an automata town.
yeah.
I mean, I'm still trying to get kind of a feel for, like balancing, like shooting with melee, because it kind of feels like I should always be shooting. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as like using the book in Nier was. Like it doesn't do a lot of damage. It's just kind of to keep building like the stun or whatever.
Well, it kind of does do a lot of damage, though. I mean, at least early on, I mean, sure, it's comparatively small damage, but like, you know, you can easily kill any of those enemies with just shooting and a little patience. Like, it's not like an excessive amount of time that it takes. So like I kind of felt like when I was like shooting constantly, especially when it goes to like the overhead view, like I felt like when I was shooting constantly, but then like went up to the enemies and started doing melee, like I felt like I got hit because like I couldn't see what they were doing because of all the particles from shooting. So I'm just like I'm still trying to learn to balance shooting and melee and like kind of figure out like what's the right approach. Oh, that wasn't the last guy for the junkyard?
You know, this level seems to be split up into 3 sections. If it's like Streets of Red, then levels are different length depending on what order you take them in. Like whatever you pick like as your third level will have more sections to it.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. But if I was to pick this level first, it would have only been that first section.
Nice. Stefan says, also don't forget to pet the touchpad. What? I think I tried hitting it at some point, but I don't remember what it did. Or maybe it didn't do anything in the introduction.
I don't recall.
The start, well, what should be called the start button, goes into the Main menu.
Thank you.
The menu kind of makes me think of like Metal Gear Solid 3 for some reason.
Lucky
Yeah,
me.
like the brown color of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
Is this like a maze and like I have to?
It's been so long since I played the first Nier that I don't.
Yeah.
Uh,
There,
I
those.
remember.
I mean, there's certain things that will jog your memory.
Well, like the like you know, like the bullets from enemies. That was bosses did that a ton in the first Nier, which I thought I thought the bosses were the best part of the original game because it's definitely a janky game. And I thought in terms of gameplay, I thought the bosses were the best design.
I got you the new version of that, didn't I?
You did, yeah, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh yeah. I didn't.
It was the PS4 version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was PS4 only, wasn't it? Or was there?
Was there no Xbox version? But yeah, I see it. It's on my shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was.
I
Like
just haven't booted it up.
It's like $5.
I'm curious, but I'm sad there's no dad version.
Yeah.
No ugly dad version.
Yeah. It's true.
Like that was the best part of Nier was just like just this really ugly dude.
Yeah. That was one of the most appealing parts.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Dad version works on Xbox. I remember that and I forgot. Like that.
If I saw
I
that
definitely,
for sale someplace, I'd probably get it. But
yeah, I
have it
need to
on- I have the
remember to
PS3 version.
keep an eye out for that.
I mean, there's literally zero chance of me like replaying that version. Honestly.
Yeah, but it's just a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yes. But at the same time, I feel like I need to stop with that mentality.
That's true, but like I still like to think like, well, I want to show this in a video.
Will you though? I mean,
Once, maybe. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's pretty fun so far. You know, it's just the intro, and even though I had to do it twice,
yeah.
I'm so impressed that he got away with that though. Pulling that trick.
Yeah.
Will that happen the first time you die, no matter what, or only if you die in that first stage?
Only if you die in that first stage.
Well, like if you, okay, so
All
like
the
if you-
endings are like dying from like certain things.
Oh,
Like during like there's like one part later on where I accidentally like you watch this intro of like a character following like a robot, and if you accidentally like go off the screen, if you like leave the area by accident, it's like, oh, he abandoned his mission, and like that is like an ending if he went the wrong way.
I mean, it's always, you know, gamer nature to go the wrong way first.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea like how far into Final Fantasy I am. I don't know, like it's
Well,
weird
I mean, you
because
can
there's like
tell
so many
from
like
the dashboard will tell you.
I know, but like I feel like it's just like has been really straightforward, I guess.
It is, yeah. It's surprisingly linear, really. I mean, yeah, there's side quests, but and you know, I did almost all of the side quests, and I don't really know why because they're honestly mostly pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess they do, you know, kind of develop the world a bit, but they're mostly fairly boring side quests. But I did most of them anyway. But like, you know, I think the main scenario overall is quite good. If you ever see, like, if you get tired of doing side quests, like if you ever see one that has like a plus on the green icon, that means it gives you something of the reward is something of note.
Wait, what?
Like if a side quest has a plus symbol.
Yeah. Or it's like a permanent upgrade or something.
It's a permanent upgrade, or you know, it's very much worth doing. Others, like, you know, I mean, you'll get experience points and stuff, but you know, they aren't that essential, really.
What is even going on?
Lots of stuff.
I don't. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even know what happened there.
The quest line was good. I did all of that, but you also got like, are you sure that there was no plus for his? I mean, I was doing everything anyway, so.
I gotta. Now I gotta do the whole.
But you get really good stuff from doing his quests.
It's just more things for him to create.
Right, but like the last one, you got like, it wasn't like the ultimate sword or anything, but it was pretty good.
Well, I just did the part with fighting Hugo. That's what I did last night. I defeated Hugo.
Like
for the first time, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
When he.
I mean, that one. I mean,
when he loses his hands. Well, that game's been out long enough.
That was. I mean, that, like, I literally was just like, ho, when that happened. Like, that was definitely a moment for me. Like,
yeah, interesting.
I thought that was pretty good.
Awesome. It's mine now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny because I had to play some Lufia 2 for a podcast that I was recording for.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire time I was playing Lufia 2, I was like, man, I just want to keep on playing this and Final Fantasy. And, you know, like, I don't play more than one RPG at a time. And,
yeah,
you know, like, if I'm starting something, I'm going to beat it most of the time. Like RPGs specifically, you know, like if I'm more than halfway through, I'm gonna stick it out.
Well, you know, something that.
But man, like, you know, Lufia 2 is real good.
I mean, something that I have been thinking more and more about, especially after playing Bravely Default 2, like that was what kind of really just kind of brought it to the front of my mind, was like classic RPGs. It just feels like more stuff happens per hour of gameplay. Like the plot just advances more quickly. You get to new areas, do new things, go to new places, meet new people. Like, just a lot faster.
Yeah.
Than in newer RPGs. And then by the time you get to the end of the game, you're like, it no matter how long the game was, it feels like there was less content than, you know, like a Super Nintendo or PS1 era RPG.
Yeah. Because you go to much less places.
you go to less places, and that was the big thing about Bravely Default 2. I was just like by the time like I got to an hour count that might have been the end of a Super Nintendo RPG, I'd been to like 3 towns. Like, it was not it just like it didn't feel like the length of the game was justified. It didn't feel like it earned the amount of time it was making me play it,
Yeah.
And
Awesome. It's mine now.
like, even in Final Fantasy games, like starting with 12, it's like there's more to the world. Like, about like, these other countries that exist in the world that you never actually get to visit in Final Fantasy 12. It's because it's like, it would just be too much I guess, to like include all that stuff in the scenario when, the game is, being developed at, at a high level of fidelity. And, I often think about that, or actually I don't, but it's something that I used to think about a long time ago and kind of forgot. And I started thinking about it more again recently.
Yeah.
When I was first introduced to RPGs, I was very kind of confused by the whole like random battle system, and the fact that your characters like don't actually physically jump up there and strike the enemy and stuff, right? And like in Final Fantasy, the enemies don't animate, and it was very strange. It took me a while to understand what was going on and the appeal of it and everything, because it didn't feel satisfying. But then, as I got into RPGs, I realized that, what goes on in an RPG is very much more of like it's a representation of what is actually happening, right?
Yeah.
And when RPGs really clicked for me, I was kind of like, oh, RPGs, they may not have, the top tier animation or things like that maybe a platformer or another game would have. The graphics are simplified, but because the visuals are simplified, that gives them the time to focus so much on the story and the world, and you can make a much bigger game because all of these things are kind of representative rather than finely animated, right? And I wonder if the push for more and more and more fidelity from RPGs has made them lose that spirit. Because now, especially Square Enix RPGs, at least the stuff that's not like the HD 2D, they're expected to be, these big budget, productions with beautiful visuals and top class animation, and the characters have to make physical contact with the enemies and stuff like that. And I enjoy and appreciate all that
so
stuff,
much.
but
I cannot even tell like what's going on. Like, there's so many enemies just like swarming this guy also that I just can't even.
Yeah, you haven't even hit him.
Yeah, and then he can hit me like so far away.
Oh,
And then he does like crap like that.
But yeah, I often think about just like the reality of making RPGs live up to a certain level of visual quality and animation quality has kind of taken away that old school spirit of, they were able, I saw it as they were able to make these games be more because the visuals were so simple. And, I don't know. I see Final Fantasy Type 0 brought up in the chat.
What is going on?
And something that I thought of not that long ago when I went inside.
I'm done. I'm done. I don't even want to play anymore. I'll play something else.
That does look like a frustrating boss.
Yeah. Like I can't even tell what's going on, and like my characters don't move fast enough to be able to like get them.
But what I was going to say about Final Fantasy Type 0, do you like have like any like association with like a certain place? You associate like a video game with a certain place, and it's like it's just like the most random association. Like, for example, every time I go inside my local Burger King, which is not very often, every time I go in there, I think of Final Fantasy Type 0. Because I remember when Digital Foundry did their when they did their coverage of the HD version of Final Fantasy Type 0, I remember reading that article on my phone when I was in that Burger King. And like to this day, every time I go inside that Burger King, I think of Final Fantasy Type 0. Yeah, you know what's funny? I see Stefan say Type 0 isn't that great, pretty mid. You know, it's so funny. I mean, there's definitely a situation of
Like, what if I do this? Let's see what happens.
wait, is player's health low good?
No, I put it all. I just cranked it all the way up.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it changes things.
But anyway,
I'll do that.
I do feel like Type 0. I get the impression that all people are just like, oh, it's so good and we didn't get it, and so angry at Square Enix that they didn't give us Final Fantasy Type 0. And then the HD version came out and like no one cared.
Yeah.
It was like such a big deal though when it came out on the PSP and it didn't come out here. It was such a big deal. And then no one cared when it finally came out, and it was like the game was like $10 within months.
Yeah.
And I mean, still haven't even played it outside of I booted up to test it out for some reason or other. I can't remember what it was.
I'm interested to see like what they do next. Like I think almost everybody would be happy if they just went back to like a turn-based, and I think it would be really cool if they did.
I think so. I mean, you know what I would like what's wrong with making Final Fantasy 17 HD 2D?
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, people would be happy with that, I think.
What would be wrong with that?
There would be absolutely nothing wrong, and I think that would be really, really cool. Because, I mean, like, even 16, I do not feel like should be 16. They should have like, called it, like, Type 02. Right?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely that action gameplay is very different. I think it's good.
Yeah, and it feels like really good to like I like to use the electrical, like the electrical ball. I can like drop that electrical mine thing, and every time you hit it, it causes like it hits like everything around you, and I use it combined with like the Ifrit, like the dash thing, and it just like does like tons and tons of damage.
I just realized I got behind on comments. I see people commenting on the comment or super chat comments. There was a sorry I got delayed on these. There was a notification that Joshua Helmke has been a member for 45 months in a row. 45 in a row.
Yes.
saying they say that there's an adult version unlocked after you beat the FF version, where Jill and Clive totally badoink for like a long time.
For like a long time.
For like a long time. I mean, I will still neither confirm nor deny whether such a thing happens. For those who,
I mean, if they don't in the game, like they almost just kiss in the part, and if they don't actually, like if they just don't, they don't resolve that. It's like, how did that even? Why even put it in then?
I'll let you see for yourself.
Yeah. So my main thing, and I wonder if anything like explains it. I'm sure it does, or if you're just supposed to like accept it. But I mean, do they explain like why just like normal people like completely have control over the branded, even though they're like way more powerful?
Well, I mean, I think it's because they don't feed them food.
I understand that, but like, why don't they just use their power to like make them? To like, you know, like
reverse the situation.
Well, it's just like I feel like they have a clear advantage over normal people, and they could.
Yeah, I mean,
so do they never really explain like how they?
I think it's just. I mean, it's just how history has gone in that world, I guess.
But I mean, it just feels like we're just like asked to believe like, oh, they would never use these powers to like burn their masters, like their abusers, alive, or anything like that, right? I mean, I don't know. Like it just seems like they have this innate ability to do this stuff, and it just like it doesn't feel believable to me.
I mean, I think most of them.
I mean, like that's kind of like what X-Men is all about. But the thing is that you know, there's a lot more people with powers than there is like mutants.
I mean, I think, you know, most people with magic in the world of Final Fantasy 16 just I don't think they're very powerful. Like I think their magic is pretty weak. Like it you know, it might not be something that would really be useful in a combat situation aside from like what, you know, powerful people like Dominance have. Or, you know, Clive, who's, you know, a little different still.
Master Saber says there's like 1,000 humans per one bearer, but it doesn't feel that way. You know, like maybe that's like the case, but I feel like it doesn't seem like it. Like the game world doesn't do a good job of making it seem like that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Praise Anubis.
But there was also a $2 super chat from Shadow Mask saying, "Any thoughts on Squeenix and Microsoft making up?" I mean, I think the more I was really excited to see that Final Fantasy 14 is finally coming to Xbox systems. I think that's a good and healthy thing for the game. It's long overdue. I mean, they kind of talked about that a long time ago, like where they basically said like, yeah, it's going to happen, but just like we can't say anything until we're ready. And wow, so was this a new file? I guess you started.
Yeah, and that was like the first thing I did.
Right, I see. So that's how they make it easier. So
well,
anyway,
no, I mean, yeah, it changes. Like this level, since I played it third last time, it was a lot longer.
So anyway, I mean, I certainly think that's good. I mean, I understand that Sony supposedly, you know, provided Square Enix some technical assistance, you know, for Final Fantasy 16. But I still fully believe that they would be capable of making quite a competent game on their own. I don't think there's anything. I mean, I don't know if Final Fantasy is that big on Xbox unless it's on Game Pass. I don't know how well Final Fantasy sells on Xbox. But certainly with 14, like, I mean, you've got that history of it coming to Xbox 360. And so it's only appropriate to finally see it on current gen Xbox. I think it's long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a pretty neat thing to see. I did watch that stream live.
Oh, I didn't even know it was like a stream.
Yeah, there was the I guess it was the first in-person Final Fantasy 14 fan fest and I guess since the pandemic.
Oh wow.
And so it was like an actual like live stage event. And Naoki Yoshida outlined the features of the new. They announced the next expansion for next summer, 7.0. It's called Dawn Trail, and went over the features of it and some of the details of the graphical upgrade that will coincide with 7.0. And some other details, and the last thing was Phil Spencer was actually there. He came out on stage and they announced the Xbox version.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good. And it was really weird that PlayStation didn't get a version of Octopath Traveler, but they got a version of Octopath Traveler 2, and then Xbox got Octopath 1 but didn't get Octopath 2. I thought that was really strange.
Yeah.
Like I really hope for Xbox players, since they did have such a beautiful version of Octopath 1, and for people who liked it on Xbox, I hope that they can get a version of that.
Yeah.
To play there. I mean, that doesn't really seem fair to the people who played it on Xbox. I mean, I got the PS5 version of Octopath 2. That's the first time there's been a physical version of a 4K 60 HD 2D game, or 4K 2D rather.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about earlier today. I was saying about like how I think once my Game Pass expires, like I have no desire to renew it, and now that like they got rid of like the games for gold, like I don't even think I'll like keep Xbox Live. Like there's just like no real reason.
Yeah, I mean
like I know like for a long time like the big appeal was like with the Xbox 360 games, even like backwards compatible Xbox 360 games, you got to keep it.
Right.
And without that, it's just like like once my Game Pass expires, I probably will. Yeah, I knew you could run with the button.
I mean, it's so rare that you and I even play a game online. Like, I mean, we did It Takes Two. We did some online stuff for the Sega Genesis collection, like way back,
like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't make terribly good use of my PS Plus. You still need that for cloud saves, though, right?
Yeah, which is annoying.
I'm not.
Same way with
Xbox require that for cloud saves?
No, Xbox gives you cloud saves no matter what. And it also, like Nintendo requires like they're online to give you cloud saves too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was. I got like the 3 years for like really cheap. It was like $100. But once that expires, like I just like don't think that I'll be renewing it. I mean, they do have like an option, like if they have like an option for like 1 month or something like that, if I needed to check something out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I don't. I mean, Switch Online is so cheap. that you
Yeah.
know,
As
I
long as
don't
if you
see
get the
us
expansion.
giving that up. And Nintendo is like the only company that like regularly makes multiplayer games I actually want to play. Even then, though, like it tends to be more of a local thing. I don't play online a lot, but it's nice to have, I guess.
Oh, Game Pass has no yearly tier anymore. They just charge you $17 a month, and that's that.
Really? That's
Well, I guess
Yeah,
if they
no,
want to
like-
do like a Netflix type thing, Netflix doesn't have like a buy 1 year plan.
I was really annoyed, kind of the reverse situation, where I needed to renew a subscription for an effects suite that I use in Analog Frontiers. I wouldn't be able to make some of the graphics for Part 4 without it,
Right.
and so I'd been looking at the subscription for a while and was under the impression that there was a monthly fee version, but when I went to actually buy, because they show it like, okay, it costs this much per month. I was like, great, I'll just buy 1 or 2 months, whatever I need to finish Part 4. Well, then it turned out that when you actually go to buy it, you can only buy the whole year. And so it's like, well, they were teasing me with the monthly cost, but I can't actually buy it that way. I was like, come on.
Come on.
Henry Clark says it's easy to find 50 days at a time for Game Pass for $10 to $11 by buying 3 months gold cards from resellers.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, GameSack says plug-in subscriptions for non-linear editors make archiving projects near impossible.
Yep.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I
that's
pay for
definitely
like the
frustrating.
film impact.
Yes, that's most of what I use.
Because that's like probably it's the most reliable and like functions better than any other plug-in
Yeah, like
suite
I
on
I hate the Red Giant stuff. Like I wish
I stopped using it because it would always like run so slow.
it runs like garbage. Whereas like the Film Impact stuff, like at least the ones that we have, like there's
I have
things
the full
that
thing,
I can't
but it's
do
like-
with it, but like it looks really good, and it's not very heavy.
It's not heavy at all. Yeah.
And Red Giant stuff is just like so inefficient. Just like how it's coded, it's terrible.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to do this room tour video in Resolve because I bought Resolve like a year ago, and like I wanted to like I've used it a bunch, but it's like always takes me a long time to get moving in it. Or
Yeah.
it's like because everything you got to figure out how to do stuff like every time. It's like, oh, how do I do this simple thing? Oh, I gotta like either tool around for a little bit or I gotta like look up a tutorial or something. And like that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But I think I might do the whole tour in 4K though.
Sure.
I had like never really considered
So
it.
are you going to do it in Premiere now?
I don't know. Like I think I might do it in Resolve just because I don't need to use like any of our graphics or anything for it.
Sure. I mean, we rarely use those anyway.
Awesome.
Well, for comparisons and stuff like that.
Oh, those. Yeah.
Awesome.
In case everybody's wondering, put all the enemy stats to be like super low and be real powerful.
I mean, they definitely.
They give you a lot of
You
options.
can't fault them for giving lots of controls for customizing your experience. If you want it to be, want it to be more of like a run-based game, you can.
Yeah.
Which and
that is totally cool. I mean, it's in the same way that like Smash Brothers and like the Sakurai games do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always like that kind of like risk versus reward sort of mechanic.
Oh, if I just hit that, it does like a spin. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry about this. There was a $10 Joshua Helmke following up on me being willing to read his Jill and Clive comment, saying, "Here's your $10, Mark. Don't spend it all at one place." I mean.
Now you can buy some more toys.
Now I can buy some more toys. It's hard to find anything for not much money anymore, though.
That makes there's like this old SNL commercial skit where it was about like shortening, like abbreviating every word in a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the time that would save you. I forgot what it was called, but I remember Chris Farley was like, "Now I have more time to play with my toys."
I thought that was a GameSack joke.
No, I mean,
Did they not? Did they borrow that at some point? Why am I associating that with GameSack?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a.
Like, can't you imagine Dave saying that?
Now
I have more time to play with my toys.
Maybe.
I feel like Dave co-opted that joke at some point.
Maybe.
Well, Joe says he's never heard it.
Yeah.
I don't. Why the heck did I think? I mean, you've told this joke before.
About having more time.
For some reason, my brain filed it away under GameSack and not SNL.
Oh. I mean, it's from the good period of SNL. Oh. It makes like the cougar sound.
The what?
I can't explain it. It makes like
cougar
a cougar sound, like rawr. It's like a stock sound effect that I've definitely heard places.
Mm.
And it makes like a when she does the or when he does like the knee, it makes it like an eagle sound. It's public domain jungle cat noise.
I do not know what currency this is, but we got 20 DKKs from Jonathan Yannick Thomason.
DKK.
Thank you. No comment, but thank you. I'm going to look up what
That's good.
DKK currency is. That was my best guess. It's Danish currency.
Oh,
Danish krone.
man, I'm like racking up the money too. The big bucks. Look at that. How much
Oh
money I
wow. Thank you. Donkey Kong coins. Go spend those at Swanky Kongs.
Did you watch the Mario movie again since you got like the Blu-ray of it or the?
I haven't. I've been waiting for Drum and Lynn to watch it.
Oh, did they not see it?
They have not seen it yet.
Let's go.
Let's go.
But I gave you the 4K digital code for that, right?
Yeah. My son's already watched it once. After seeing it twice in the theater.
Oh wow, I know you went twice.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's good. I like it.
So this has definitely made the game like a lot easier. So we'll see if I can. I don't have a lot of time, but maybe I can.
So you at least finished the 4 starting levels.
Yeah.
Is that are you on the 4th?
I think I'm
I
in
think
the
you
third.
are.
I'll
Really?
go as fast as I can here.
Diving dragon.
The spin kick is real good. I wish that I knew about it before. I think you can combo the. So I could just like go up and down here if I wanted to. By hitting like the 2 triggers, like alternating the triggers.
Oh.
How would I rate this? I don't know. I'd give it like a solid like 6 probably right now.
Lucky me.
I mean,
And
I definitely. It seems like the kind of game that you could get more out of if you were like looking for like a really stout challenge and wanted to like really
for sure
crank up the difficulty modes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I think it seems pretty good from the little bit I tested. Like I definitely think it'll be a lot more fun co-op.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like,
Thank you.
I think that's okay. I found it really annoying there for a little bit. Like, I haven't had to do the level with the cliffs and stuff, so we'll see where I'm at on that.
Oh yeah.
When at this,
I think you are on that level.
maybe it might be after this level. Yeah.
Plain Sam says, I hope the success of the Super Mario film means we will hopefully finally get a Zelda movie. I would definitely be nervous about Zelda being an Illumination movie, but like I guess it could work if they go for more like a Wind Waker-y aesthetic. But like what do you think you would rather see? Would you rather see like would you rather see
I wouldn't want an Illumination.
Well, that's what I mean, but considering they've already got the partnership, there's a possibility that's what we could end up with. Like it would be like Illumination, Wind Waker style, or would you rather like, you know, Lord of the Rings like live action style? I think I would rather a live action Zelda movie.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know. Like either way.
There's a big
Either way
risk
doesn't
either
sound
way.
right. And as Cheesemeister says, either way, Link's got to talk.
I know.
Link's gonna
and
talk.
that's
You know what I
That's
think would be
concerning.
best? Honestly, you want to know what I think would be best? Is if they just didn't. I mean, I know they would like make a ton of money. Yeah, see, Dustin's got it right. Like, if
yeah.
Ghibli did it,
That-
like that would be
That is the right answer.
yeah,
Not gonna happen though.
not gonna happen.
That is the right answer though.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse style. I mean, that would.
That would be kind of cool, but like
It'd be
you know,
cool,
like
but
I,
I like
that low frame
you
rate.
have F-Zero in that style.
Yeah,
Like Zelda. I don't see Zelda in that style. F-Zero Spider-Verse style would be incredible, I think.
I mean, I think that the Spider-Verse, like the I just don't know if like the low frame rate aspect of it would be good for it
For what?
for a Zelda movie.
Yeah. I don't really see that fitting Zelda that much. I mean, I wouldn't complain if that's what we got, but it wouldn't be what I would immediately expect.
I like it.
But like, I think that like comic booky aesthetic would really fit F-Zero. Not that we'll ever get an F-Zero. I would love an F-Zero movie. I mean, I think I've said before that like, you know, ever since the N64 game, I've wanted an F-Zero RPG.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it would be awesome. I mean, I think there's like so much.
Lucky me.
It feels like there's so much
Dude,
world building that's already taken place for F-Zero that you could like build that upon. You know?
yeah. I love that the enemies like it's almost like they turn to stone when you kill them.
Yeah.
It's like it makes me think of Golden Axe. In the arcade version, they turn to stone like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Bubsy, the movie directed by David Lynch. That would be funny.
I like it.
Luigi's Mansion would be a good movie. I do agree.
Yeah, but they could just do that within the same style of what they
Oh yeah, absolutely.
have. I just don't know if I think to do I don't know if they could do Zelda in a way that
It would even Wind Waker style, mixing Wind Waker and Illumination, like it does. I don't think Illumination feels like the right fit for Zelda, but I don't know if they would go to another partner. You know, unless like they said like, okay, we can do a really different style. But like they're, you know, the style, the kind of vibe they went for with Mario would just, that would, I just don't see. I mean, they've never done like a fantasy movie, have they?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like follow what their output is like.
No. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be interested in a Zelda movie, but I don't. I would be nervous.
Yeah. I mean,
if you went for like kind of like the Ocarina of Time style Link, like I feel like it would make a lot of sense for him to be a silent or near silent protagonist. Because I mean, he's like, you know, he's kind of the outcast kid in Kokiri Forest.
but
and,
they
you know,
can't have a movie where the main character never talks. Like I just don't think
I mean, I would applaud them for trying.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
They're not going to, but
I mean, it would be a ballsy move to do that for sure. But
I think
there's,
they. I mean, I think they should. I think they should, but I agree that they almost certainly will not.
yeah.
Henry Clark says James Gunn doing Captain N. Anyone?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
amazing.
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Like I would be all about like some sort of like goofy, like, you know, 90s cartoon interpretation revival where like all the characters are like super off-brand and stuff like that. I could totally go for that.
More from me.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to bring back more Castlevania animation at all, but
Oh
like,
yeah. I mean,
Richter era. That's a good pick.
I mean, that's what like a lot of people would want, you know.
Yeah, I mean Rondo and Symphony.
Yeah. But isn't it's like the whole thing? Like, there's like a ton of lore that I had no idea was even a thing. About how like
Game
Richter-
lore or show lore.
No, like game lore. Like about how Richter is like essentially like the most powerful Belmont until like Julius or something like that, because the vampire killer like keeps all the memories of all the users, and essentially he was like the most powerful, and his like arrogance is like why he got taken control of in Symphony of the Night or something like that.
I didn't realize he was considered arrogant.
I mean, it's like, I don't know, like it's just like stuff that I like kind of read about. Every time, like that is like that part is it's like so annoying. Like, can I make this jump without getting hit by anything? I don't know.
I wonder if you face left when you make the jump. If you get hit, you'll get knocked to the right.
Probably. I mean, to be forced to like take a hit there is also.
Well, I don't think you're necessarily forced to, but it does seem difficult to do. But I mean, honestly, I didn't realize that Julius was considered a ultra powerful Belmont. I always assumed he was kind of low tier. I mean,
Well, something about like how he's like the.
He doesn't even have a game of his own.
But it's like he's like the only Belmont or something like that that has like the full support of like all the like these different families or whatever.
Oh.
And
Julius?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got like Bellinatas and
Yeah.
and all that on his side, I guess.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Trevor had that too,
Bellinatas?
though. What?
Is that how you say that name, Bellinatas?
I guess. I don't know.
That's good.
Huh? Because I mean, did
They
they ever say, did they ever say it in
probably
the
say it
show?
out loud at some point in
Yeah. I always thought it was like
no, but
Bellinatas.
I don't remember how they say it.
That's good.
But I mean that would be my instinct of how to say it.
Look what Kinto Zero says. According to Arias Star, Julius is the most powerful Belmont and the one who finally killed Dracula for good in the Battle of 1999.
You can't kill Dracula.
Yeah.
There was a 499 from Beastly Panda. Thank you. Saying, hey, Coury and Try. Recently stumbled on Here's My Question for You. Been enjoying it. Wish I'd heard of it sooner.
Well, you got plenty of stuff to catch up on. But I mean, I don't, we have fun. It's a good way to like kill an hour and a half, I guess. I like to describe it as like, you know, just being dropped into a conversation that's already in progress.
Yeah, well, that is how it feels.
Yeah, and
Exactly how.
and it's like the perfect thing to put on in the background if you just want something to ignore.
I mean, it really is like, you know, I mean, you've described it as a podcast about nothing.
Yeah.
It's I've found it to mostly be pretty enjoyable, just background for driving or whatever.
Special case.
No, you got those guys in the corner and wrecked them.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's what saying all the meters to zero does.
Yes. I'm just like jacking up my melee attacks. Are they making? I thought they were like gonna make a Streets of Rage movie.
What? Really?
Like didn't somebody like get the rights to make a Streets of Rage movie?
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Movie people like to talk about things that they want to do that they'll never do.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, though. That would be super amazing.
I thought I heard something about that.
I mean, that would definitely be like a... I feel like that's kind of a genre that could, you know, could stand with like a revival in movies, you know? And classic games could be good source material.
Yep.
Rob says, so what's the consensus on Twisted Metal, the show? Is that out?
But I've also heard that it's like surprisingly good.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know very little about Twisted Metal in general, so I don't have much thoughts about one way or the other. Like, just I don't know. Twisted Metal never really seemed like my kind of game.
Is the show, did they like release the whole thing at once, or is it like a weekly thing?
Where even is it?
It's on Peacock.
Oh.
It's mine now.
Would we recommend this? I don't know yet.
I mean, I liked the little bit I played.
If you're gonna play
really
co-op, it's probably a lot more fun.
I like it.
30-minute, 10 episodes all at once.
Okay.
Uh,
I was just watching what's it on?
Pretty
Is it
short,
on Peacock was the MacGruber show. I didn't even know there was a MacGruber show.
I don't even know what that is. Would you not expect me to?
It's based on an SNL skit,
Okay.
but I don't think you would like it.
Okay.
It does not seem like something you'd. I'm not sure if you would find it very funny. It is pretty funny though. but I'm not sure if the humor would land with you.
Mm. Oh, of course I'll try the Wii U on the RetroTink 4K. No doubt about it.
More from me.
I can't wait to try 720p HD stuff on it and even 1080p.
Lucky me. Lucky me.
See, this is only the 3rd level, though. Or is this the 4th, maybe?
That says nobody suggested Altered Beast movie.
Lucky me.
I would love to see them try.
Oh, Kinto Zero, it's called X Zodiac. That's I knew that was gonna be the what game is this in that glasses video. I put it in there
yeah,
because I knew that people would be like, what game is this?
I always forget what the title of that game is.
It's X
It
Zodiac.
doesn't. I don't feel like that name like encapsulates what that game is.
No.
Man, I really want to see like a console version and a physical console version, no less of that.
Well, when it's finished, hopefully that happens.
Yeah. Did you hear that? I guess I saw some chatter that suggested that I don't know. It sounds like it might be unknown, but I think I saw someone talking. Maybe it was in the MLiG Discord or something about like Sea of Stars might be getting a physical like right away or something. But like I don't know if it's like available to buy anywhere or not. But
I know it's
would
going to be
really-
on. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I guess.
Right,
It
but
will
like,
probably be
But it sounded like it was unknown. But like
not
people
strictly
were
limited,
talking.
but probably the same people who did the Messenger. Special reserve.
Oh, right. I don't know.
Hey,
I need to play the messenger. I wonder if it's best to play the messenger first.
Well, probably, but I'm not sure if it matters.
If it really matters, but it probably doesn't really matter.
That's good.
Oh, is Sea of Stars going to be on Game Pass right away?
Yeah, and also I think on.
Oh,
PS
I did hear something about that where it's like the first game where they have like parity at launch for their services.
Yeah.
That's good.
Is the Messenger only on the Switch? Now that I think about it,
You know,
and PC maybe.
as far as consoles, that you might be right. It's interesting how these bosses can appear in like a completely different
Yeah.
setting, depending on what order you do the levels.
I mean, I feel like once you get to this part, it just gets really tough. Like they throw so many like normal enemies at you during the battle that it's just like obnoxious. You know, and they just like don't stop attacking. You know, they just keep on jumping on the roof. You see, like, every time I kill them, like, more just jump on the roof. And I think that does not come off as, like, very cool.
The big guys probably don't come back. I suspect.
You see that? See this? That move?
Oh, there was a hamburger out there you didn't get.
I understand, but it's like there's two, like... What is even... Like, it's... I'm sorry, that's just, like, it just feels like... Like... incredibly frustrating. You know, like, you literally jump on the screen and it's like you get knocked back off again. There's, like... It needs, like, some sort of invincibility frames when something like that happens. Because I feel like you just don't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like there's just, like, way too much stuff going on, and then you can't even... You just gotta hope that something goes, like, your way. And I don't know. Like, it's just, it feels... It feels like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it was, like, tested. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's horrible to say, but it doesn't feel like... It just doesn't feel like there was anybody to be like, dude, this is like what is even going on here? You know? I don't know. I am going to buy a Boba.
Finished Lufia too.
No, it's a
Have you beaten that before?
No.
Do you think you'll continue it after you finish Final Fantasy 16?
Maybe. I mean, I still have like half my games and my games I got to finish for the year.
Well, at least I've started Nier Automata. I'll probably play it for a bit before I go to bed after we get off here.
I just want to see what a Bobo looks like.
A Bobo.
Abibo.
Mm.
There he is. It's your boy. It's your boy, a Bobo.
Oh, so you can play as him now?
Yeah, I bought him with
Look
my
at that.
tokens. I just want to see what it looks like. That Double Dragon 2-pack is actually like has more on it. It has like the NES versions of 2 and 1, 2, and 3 on there, I think, as well. But you know, the Double Dragon Advance is like the real selling point.
Wait, what is that?
There's like a Double Dragon collection coming.
For modern systems?
Yeah.
What's Double Dragon Advance?
It's a really good Game Boy Advance version of Double Dragon 1 that has like RPG elements.
Oh.
You can like power up your. It's really expensive, but also like really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's available on Play Asia, the physical version. It comes out like, I don't know when it comes out, like maybe in August sometime.
I'll have to look into that.
I think that once people have like I wonder if people are complaining about the things that I complain about in this.
So get some patches.
Yeah. I think that maybe. I mean, with some patches, like I think that it could be real good. I just think that, you know, some of those boss fights. Oh, did you watch this yet? You see Death Island? Resident Evil Death Island?
Oh, is that the newest animated movie that has Jill in it?
Yeah.
I have not.
I heard that they
Have
just
you?
like use like Jill's character model from the third game.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that's what she currently looks like, so
But that's
of
like,
course.
isn't it like this is like post 6, so like she looks exactly the same, and it's like years later.
Well,
Like she even wears the same clothes.
yeah, I mean, her aging may have changed due to what happened to her in 5.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
I think I've only seen the first.
Was that degeneration or
2?
regeneration?
Yeah, I think I've only seen the first 2 of those animated movies. I wonder if there's somewhere that you can stream all of them.
So Brian North says, I've heard others mention the lack of invulnerability after getting hit. I think like if you get knocked off like an edge, then you need to be like invincible for like at least a few frames. And after
Or do the thing that other brawlers do where enemies fall down when you respawn.
but that's when you die. Or when you like, you know, continue even. I mean, I think that it just like it's totally fine, but then it gets like real frustrating at that point. At a certain point, I guess. But I think that's gonna do it. I gotta.
Sounds good.
Now that my eyes are all dry. Okay. Put my medication and put my ointment in my eyes and see through the
Ointment
Vaseline.
in your eyes.
Yeah. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great week. And you know, thank you to everybody who donated. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon. We'll have Retro Tink stuff to talk about soon.
Yep. Maybe you should put some stuff on the old Insta.
Maybe so. Maybe so. So watch that. Watch the Discord. Watch the stream next week. I'm sure I'll be able to answer things by.
Maybe you'll even you'll be playing something on it. Maybe.
I might be playing something on it.
Yeah. I mean, you should. Honestly, you should.
Yeah. I mean, well, man, Mike said he'd be happy to join us for a stream sometime.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we could do that next week.
maybe next week. Maybe some other time. I don't know. We'll see.
Heck yeah. All right, everybody. See you soon. Take care. Good night.
Good night.